Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As requested, today I'm going to go over Reaper's Equalizer, ReaEq. Before getting into it, I'd like to thank all of you guys for subscribing and helping me get past that 100 subscriber benchmark, and I look forward to making these videos, and I'll keep them coming every week. Now, let's get started. So I want to preface this by saying that although I'm familiar with ReaEq and I know how to use it, and that's what I'm gonna go over today, I am by no means a mixing master and I'm still learning how to use this tool. But there are two learning curves here. One is with the software and the tool itself, and the other one is how to use the tool correctly, because equalizing is a whole art of its own, which I'm still learning, of course. So I'm going to show you my approach to it. Let's get started. Okay, so we're working with a few basic instruments today: kick, snare, bass, and guitar, and we got this loop going on. Okay, so let's get going. I'm gonna jump on the bass track first, and you go to effects. And of course, you'll find the EQ, just so you know, under this section, under Kakos. I think I'm saying that correctly. And it's going to be ReaEq. These are all the ones that it comes with. Of course, we're going over this tool only today. So you open it, you get this. Now, what an equalizer is, it basically does two things. It does additive EQ and subtractive EQ. Basically, these are fancy terms for additive. It means boosting frequencies, and subtracting, it's reducing frequencies. And that's what it does. If you take a look, it's kind of like an X and Y axis, and you zero in on specific frequencies and you either boost them or you cut them. So of course, with desired frequencies, you want to boost those like that. And with undesired frequencies, you want to cut those or reduce those. The way an equalizer works, it works in bands. And this is what is actually going to give you your controls. Now, to start out with, you have 4 bands. And if you go to the bottom here, you have a few controls. You have add band. So I can add as many as I like. Generally speaking, you only need about 4 unless you're really trying to do something else or get really precise. And that would be beyond me. I'm usually just find that 4 works just fine. You can remove or you can reset. You have a couple of more. So you can hide the tabs, so you can just click and drag and control them here. And then click again, you get them back. Or you can hide the grid, which not really recommended, but it's there if you want it. And here, if you want to hear a difference between a specific band and what it's actually doing to your mix, you can select it, and you can disable it. So for example, if you were reducing frequencies here, you can do that and then turn it on and off rather than turning on and off the entire plugin. You can just focus in on a very specific band, right? So let's enable that again. And what I like doing, because you could always click on it and move it yourself, but to get really more precise than that, you can just click the band or select it from here, from these tabs, and each one is going to come with its own controls, right? So for example, you can do 3 things with each band. You can control the frequency, which is going to move it left and right. And remember that like X and Y axis kind of thing, right? You can move it left and right. So a frequency is measured in hertz, and that's the number that you're getting here on the left. You start from all the way from 20 and can go all the way to like 24K. There you go. So for example, if you wanted to pick out a very specific frequency, you can just type it in, and it also gives you the pitch. So for example, I'm going to start that at 40. And the next thing that you can do is mess with the gain. Now, actually, let me switch to number 2 for this one. The gain, if you move it up, it's going to boost it. And then the measurement that you're getting here is the volume, and the volume is measured in decibels, right? So if you reduce it, now I'm reducing here by 5 decibels. Here I'm boosting by 5.5 decibels. You can get really precise if you want to type in the number, but I find that playing with this as you're listening is going to help you. So for example, say I want to boost at 298 hertz by 4.3 decibels. What I'm going to do here is mess with the bandwidth. Now, if I have wider bandwidth, more frequencies are going to be affected. You see the range, and it's gradual. But if I reduce it, if I want to get super precise, or like I only want to boost this very specific signal, I can reduce it and it becomes very, very precise. This is very useful. For example, if you have like a really bad noise or just something that shouldn't be there, you can zero in on it, and instead of boosting, reduce, and I will cut that out. And this way, I'm not messing with other frequencies. So let me reset here. And again, I'm going with the bass first. So something that you might want to do, and again, these are not hard rules, these are general. And once again, I'm still kind of getting the hang of this. It's a lot of experimenting, seeing what other people do, seeing what you like. It depends a lot on the instruments that you're using, and it also depends on the style that you're going for. So I'm going to take the first band, and I want to cut anything below 40 because that's where I'm hearing rumbling, and I don't want any of that. Because the way it works is at the end, actually, let me add an EQ here on the master track so you can see it. So that's the master track. And for example, the kick and the bass, they're all on the lower end of the spectrum of frequencies, right? What you don't want is for them to be competing for the same frequencies. This creates muddiness, and it just ruins your mix. So you want to give each instrument its own little space in this range so that you can hear everything. That's when you have a good mix, is that you can hear all the instruments. And for example, you have some that are highlighted that are jumping out more to the front, and rather than the other ones, you want to have a good balance. So let's go back to the bass, and again, I'm going to go to band 1. So I want to go to 40, and what I'm going to do, because I know it's 40, that's where I want to start cutting. And here, where you have type, you have different settings. So for example, a high pass is going to let those high frequencies through, and it's at this point at 40, it's going to start reducing everything below it. I don't want it because it's just rumbling. I don't need it in the mix. And you can start messing with how many frequencies are affected surrounding it. And now what I want to do is take the second band, and I want to boost around 800. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be there. I have to listen, but usually around this spot is where I want to boost a little bit of the bass. And I'm going to disable the second band so you can hear the difference. It brings it to the front a little bit. It's subtle. You have to pay attention to it. But if without it, it's flat. And then when I enable it, it pops up a little more. And then because I don't want it competing with any highs, and generally I just want to get rid of it, I'm going to take the fourth band, go to type, and do a low pass. And I'm going to cut everything that's after around 2400. I'm going to take the third band, and around 1.5, that's where I'm going to boost a little more as well. Great. And now let's hear the difference. I think I'm cutting too much top end here. Yeah, it sounded to me like I was losing a little too much of the tone. So here, I'm going to take the kick, and for example, I want to boost it around 50. Now I want to add some EQ to the snare. Anything below 100 I want to get rid of. Good. And then the sweet spot should be around anywhere between 1 and 1.5K, and that's where my tone is going to be. I'm going to take the third band. That's where that smack is. You hear that? And if I really wanted it to pop up, but I don't have that much getting in the way of it yet, it'd be around the 7K area. And lastly, the guitar. So anything below 50, I want to cut out. For the same reason, I don't want to competing with the kick, and I want to add a boost around 350, anywhere between 300 and 400. To really make it jump out of the mix, anything between 3 and 4. So I'm going to take band 3. Now we're in the mids range, high mids. Let's try around 3,500. And that's how you can use the EQ that comes with Reaper. It's super useful, and one of my favorite things is that it comes with Reaper for free. So if you're trying to get your head wrapped around how EQs work, that is a great tool because you're not burning any money and it's available to you right from the start. So definitely be sure to take advantage of that. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I love to hear from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.